I just completed a book called Secret of the Ages, and it was incredible. It was a spiritual book, but really again simplified how much stress that we put on ourselves, how easy it is to manifest whatever we want out of this life. It all comes from our thoughts. We literally put so many negative thoughts and limiting belief in our head, which then manifest into our life. And they start from when we are a kid, when we're first growing up, and what our parents teach us and what they say will then influence how we are when we're older. So to give you an example, if you are in a shop as a kid and you're like, "Mummy, I want this." "No, you can't have that. We can't afford that. Get something cheaper." All these things reinforced will go into the subconscious. So when people start growing up, when they want something, the first automatically response to the body, "Oh no, I can't have that, it's too expensive. I can't have that, let me just get the cheaper version instead." How often do we hear people say, "Oh, that's too expensive"? What are you basing expense on? And it's usually our conditioning from when we're growing up. And this book really highlights how much suffering we put on ourselves. It highlights how simple it could be if we could just take control of our thoughts. And the most powerful thing is that we are actually in control of our thoughts. We're in control of our whole body. But we're so unconscious most of the day, 95% of our day in fact, we're not paying attention. So our body that we're in control of, we could be utilising that right away, every day. But we choose not to. And there's certain things that were said in this book that just completely clicked, made sense to me. So again, going down a spiritual woo-woo path now, as whatever you call it, but it makes sense to me, and I'm starting to notice differences. But everything starts from in your body. If you really think about it, your body is a miracle. Your body is doing things automatically without you even thinking about it. The heart is beating all the time. You're breathing without thinking about it. Your body just allows you to do that to survive. These are subconscious thoughts. Your brain somewhere is just allowing you to run, allowing you to live. But also if you go deeper than that, our body is so incredible. When you cut yourself, your body will respond without even thinking about it. If you think about the different gases exchanging in your body, the different pH levels within your blood, acid and alkaline, your body at the same time as everything else is playing around with all these different levels. It is amazing. And when we stop to realize how incredible it is, then we can start playing around with it. But our body is that incredible that scientists still don't know how it works. For the next 100 years, they could be working on this body non-stop and they still won't be able to tell you how certain things happen. They just do. And then what I'm starting to see is that we have our conscious mind, we have our subconscious mind, but we also have the universal mind as well. And that's what people can tap into. So we are energy beings, we are full of energy. If you take the time to just pay attention, and a good way just to prove that, if you just quickly close your eyes now, put your hands out, your fingers outstretched out. And then with your eyes closed, just take your attention to the tips of your fingers. You'll feel them tingling. Or you'll feel some sort of energy there. That's your inner body. You can do the same when you listen to your pulse, try to feel it. If you pay attention enough, you'll go boom, boom, boom. So where we take our attention, the energy goes thereafter. So, best way to explain it would be machinery. You've got all these machines, all these computers, all these new technologies around the world, which are incredible what they can do. But they don't work unless they're plugged in. They're plugged into the mains, they're plugged into the universe. The world that we live in has a current. It's called the Schumann resonance. It's got a live heartbeat the whole time. What's even more powerful is that we also have a current. We have electricity going through us. And guess what? They're identical. We are tapping into the universal energy. And just to explain energy, because you can say, "Oh, don't believe in that." Energy is as real as you can get. The The fact that we can't see it, it's non-physical, that's why it's denied by science. But if you look at how science does all their tests, they use machinery that measure energy, X-rays, ultrasound. That's all form of energy. So we use it, but we deny it. Energy is also real when you walk into a room and people are arguing and you know they've been arguing. There's tension in the room. That's energy. Energy also, guys, is the amazing thing that grows your plants. Your plants miraculously just grow. That's energy. Energy is around us all the time. And when they say get to nature, it's because there's no other distractions. You are just tapping into the universal energy. And when we do detach from this world, all of a sudden these thoughts start clearing out the way. We can start tapping into our own inner wisdom, our intuition. And that's what happens when you do go out in nature, when you do get on the bike, when you do go for a run. All these different insights. Because we're giving our space and our mind the opportunity just to clear the thoughts so you can listen to your feelings. So if our body is that much of a miracle and the machinery only works when it's plugged in, that's where meditation comes in. Meditation is your opportunity to connect. And within that space, you'll get insights, you'll get answers. You can create the world that you want and you can actually feel it all. Everything starts from imagination first. And whilst your eyes are closed, everything becomes imagination. Nothing's real anymore, it's not physical. So if we can keep going into this space and creating and feeling and then believing, you'll start vibrating this on an everyday level. You'll start attracting the things that you want in life because you're vibrating at that frequency. If we look at energy now, inside your body, and this is another insight that I got, all these cartoons that we watched growing up, they've pretty much given us the answers. The genie, for example, you make a wish, it comes true. That's your body. We are a genie bottle. And your little workers and your soul and all your little soldiers inside are listening for your commands. They're waiting for your thoughts. The words that come out your mouth, that's you communicating with your soul, with your body. It's a great example of this. And again, this is the spiritual law. What you ask for comes true. And you have to remember that. It works. But just to show you how powerful it is, remember when you're having a conversation with someone and you're trying to get your finger on that person's name and you literally can't remember. And you say, damn, what was their name again? Anyway, you carry on the conversation. 2-3 minutes later, your little soldiers are all going around. There's the name. And you're like, oh, it's Jane. That was the name. That was you asking, and then your subconscious gets the answers. It will find the right answer for you. So when you're going into these meditations and these silent times, take some questions in with you. If you're doing some work and you've got something to write, for example, which I do, I go in there with the topic and then you'll see that my paragraphs and what I'm going to write are going to come out and I'll be more clear on. If you've got a job interview coming up, go into the space. Just imagine what the best case scenario interview would be and feel it and believe it, and you'll go in there a lot more confident. And you can do this on many, many different ways of taking things into your meditation, answers, questions, insights, even just asking for a new client or asking for something. Your workers will then go and do that. But it's the thought, the feeling, and then the belief with it. It's the belief bit that's the key, because normally when we ask for things, our little ego go, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, that's never going to happen. That's not real. And the key bit then is to override them thoughts, because you're denying the universe when you put these negativity out to the world. So as soon as you get that thought, flip it to the opposite. What is it that you do want? Send that signal into your body. Keep taking yourself to these places that you want to go to in life. And this is why the power of learning is so important now, and reading books and learning from people that have been successful, because they show you that it's possible because they've done it. And when you start learning about all these other things in life that are possible, when you go back into this space, your goals and dreams become even more wider, even more advanced, because now you believe it is possible. So that's the key part for learning, is we can use this for our creativity. We can use this to become truth. we can use this to have a better life, a happier life. So we've got to now start asking our body, this magical machine inside, let's start working with it. Let's start asking questions. What is it that you want? And literally just sit knowing that the answer will come back. The one thing that we don't know is when. So we have to be patient. But if you really ask and be clear on your request, not just, I want a car. What type of car? When was it made? What's the colour of it? What's the specifics of it? What's the location of it? Is it brand new? Like, you want to ask all these things because the universe will make things happen for you. And half the time we ask for things, but we're not clear enough. So when it's presented to us, we're not even noticing because our awareness is not on it. The more specific you are on what you want, the more chance that it will start presenting itself. But you have to believe this truth. And if you know that it works, and you know that a lot of people are speaking about it, and even more so, a lot of people have hidden it from us, because this book that I read was from 1926. And I had no clue that it was an old book. It just seemed like a brand new book. It was incredible. So Secret of the Ages, I'd highly encourage that. And I'd highly encourage you to get some time now to yourself, meditate, no distractions, and then take into a few questions into that space with you and just see what comes up for you. It's spiritual, but it works. And if you know it works, might as well give it a go. Let me know if you've got any questions. What you ask for comes true.